And next is module 7.3, carbohydrates. We're going to keep this very simple in terms of monosaccharides, disaccharides, cellulose, and starch, and a little bit about the structure. So carbohydrates, as the name suggests, is composed of carbons, hydrogens, and oxygens. It's one of the products from photosynthesis, and it can be categorized as first having the building blocks of monosaccharides, which is such as glucose and fructose. The glucose is 6 carbons, here 6 carbons labeled for you, and an aldehyde, which I can quickly draw for you, aldehyde group like this. So this is for glucose versus fructose, also 6 carbons. You can see it labeled here, and also has a ketone. Okay, we don't have to worry about this, just letting you know that it has a ketone group as well. And when these two monosaccharides come together, they will form a disaccharide. So disaccharides, sucrose, as I just mentioned, it comes from two monosaccharide units coming together to form a glycosidic bond. Just write this glycosidic bond. And the name of this is a condensation reaction. So one of the products when two monosaccharides come together is we get water as a product. And I should have said beforehand that glucose and fructose, mostly glucose is the primary energy storage. It can be found in fruits and vegetables, fructose as well, in fruits such as apples and pears. But these are the main energy sources for the body. Poly, as you guys already know, it means many sugars coming together. So here the main difference is we'll talk about polysaccharides, starch and cellulose. Starch is an energy storage in plants. Cellulose, provides structures in plants, and starch, you can find it in rice and wheat and potato, and cellulose, as you guys probably heard growing up, celery and greens. And the cellulose is very good for your digestive system to help you cleanse your system. The main difference structurally is the alpha linkage here for starch and a beta linkage for for cellulose. And it's hard to tell, but the main difference is in the alpha linkage, the carbon chains bonding is happening below the carbon, versus the beta linkage, the OH bonding happens above the carbon 1 plane. So that's the main difference, is the starch is on the same, below, and the beta is above. I think you can see the above in our limited knowledge. You can see that the beta, the linkage is above. And that's all I wanted to touch upon in terms of differences. So you don't have to draw. You will never be asked to draw in this class. You just have to be able to recognize the difference between the starch and cellulose. And as I mentioned earlier, it's found in foods such as potatoes and starch. Cellulose is, good in fiber. We cannot digest this cellulose. We don't have the enzyme to break it down. Therefore, it'll go through our system and help clean it as it's going through our digestive system. Just going back to labels, one thing I just wanted to say is the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, they now ask companies to label in bold the type of calories, the number of calories that are in the food per serving. This is important because just to help people more aware of what they're consuming. So next, we'll move on to proteins and amino acids.